Welcome to this week's video blog. Welcome to TroyPSilva.com. This week's information is geared towards helping hitters, also helping parents, I guess, and coaches, not to be fooled, not to be misled, not to be taken down a path that you think you're doing the right things that you need to do in order to maximize your hitting ability, but to give you feasible information that basically I've failed at over the years. It's very kind of personal to me to give you this information because I feel like I messed kids up several decades ago in starting my career in hitting instruction and being a coach and a mentor. So hopefully this helps you, for all hitters, for all coaches, and parents too as well. So I'm going to take you through the path that basically has led me to be where I'm at today. The path of basically instruction and coaching, what I've failed at, what works, what doesn't work, where the community, where the culture is at right now today, especially in the lines of hitting instruction, and to help you gather information so that you don't get misled or misinterpret things that need to be taught. So I'm coming out of pro ball. I'm coming out of a professional, basically a professional baseball organization, wondering kind of what to do with my life, and of course, like every other person that gets out of baseball that really has a true heart, they want to coach. So coming out of it, I want to start coaching. I get into it, and the first things first, I start hitting lessons. So coming out of pro ball, playing basically 25 years or so of my life of baseball, I felt like I had enough information. I felt adequate to be able to help both families and coaches and players to become better hitters. So I started off my instruction with one thing in mind. How do I make these hitters look better? Okay, not really how do I make them better. My mindset was to make them better. My approach was how do I make them look better? So to make them look better, it was 100% mechanical information, 100% T-work, 100% how do I make this kid look better? Not really even lines to make them better, to make me look better. It was all about me at the time. So the first basic two or so years of my instruction was 100% mechanical stuff. And boy, was I completely wrong. So I was wrong not only in the lines of what I was giving kids and what I was giving hitters, I was also wrong in the lines of how I was going about my business. It was all about me. It was all about how do I look good? How do I make this kid look good so that I look good so that I can get more people to come to me? And I've told parents and kids in the past, I failed them. I totally take responsibility and failed them in what I was giving them. I was basically getting paid to basically rip them off, to teach them that hitting was all about what they looked like, basically. So the first step in my process, and this was 20 years ago or so, was to teach them how to look good, okay? My mindset was if they look better, the parents are going to want to come to me more, and then I'm going to get more money and so forth. So I see a little of that in this day and age, in this generation with instruction. I don't think it's something that's intentional with some people coming out of baseball. It's just something that's there. Your first thought is, okay, how do I make it to where I can get more people come to me? And it's all about the look. And in fact, there's a lot of people out there still today that they create this certain look of hitting to make it all about them. Oh, you hit with this person, or you hit with this person because it's all about the leg kick, or it's all about this and it's all about that. It's not all about you. That's the first thing that I kind of came to a conclusion with several years ago, is it's not about me. My career's over. I had my chance. God said, no, you're going to do this now. But once you get to the mindset of it's not about you, it's not about your philosophy, it's not about your system, it's about helping them, then you'll understand that this mechanical mumbo jumbo stuff is very, very important, but it's just a simple little step into the process. So the first thing is the mechanical 100% mindset that I had to check. So after checking that, the second thing I got into, this was probably 3-4 years into the instruction, it became all about the drills. And here in 2017, can you go a day on the internet without seeing some sort of cool drill? You can't. Drills are pretty cool. Drills are a way to give a player the ability to be an athlete and to do different things and to make your training unique, but it's also a way to fool people into believing that a specific drill is the helper to make you a better hitter. I've seen drills all over the internet, specifically in the past year or so, that are beyond ridiculous. They're beyond stupid, basically. It's basically something that's, oh, I've created this drill, so look how cool it is, and come hit with me again. It becomes all about, come back to me because I can make these drills. And I did this the same thing too. I created drills, and I created a whole bunch of false things that made me look good that basically fooled people. And that's kind of where our culture is with drills these days. It's basically to fool people into, hey, look at me, I'm very organized. Hey, look at this cool drill. Hey, look at it's you know, it's going to make your hitter better and so far. So the problem with the drills today is drills should be specified into helping that specific individual with their specific weaknesses. It's not about just doing a drill just to do a drill. There's tons of drills that I do with specific kids that I don't do with other kids because they don't really help. They're just kind of a time waster. So don't get to the point where Troy's saying don't do drills. I do drills all the time. But just know that, especially with instruction and really teaching hitters, it's not about really the drills. The drills are just a small piece to help them feel whatever it is they struggle with. And that was the second part of my development, is it became mechanics and then it became drills based. And it was basically mechanics and drills based for 3 to 5 years of my instruction. And I still just wasn't giving what I felt like kids really needed. And then there was a premonition right before I wrote the book, 9 Innings of Hitting. Go check that out. It's on Amazon, iTunes. Before I wrote the book, I had this premonition of like, I'm teaching kids something that I never did when I was younger, and something that didn't really work for me. I'm just doing it to make myself look good. And I came to the conclusion that most kids don't really get information that they really need. And about 7-8 years ago, I started teaching kids, what do these kids really need? I started really diving into, what is your real weakness? Is your real weakness your swing? No. Is your real weakness, you know, not doing enough drills? No. What's your real weakness? And once I figured out that these kids have individualized weaknesses, and a lot of the weaknesses have nothing to do with mechanics, I figured out real hitting. And real hitting came to the point where I was actually making kids better, which in tune made me look better. Weird, not that that's a big important thing, but it made people feel like they were actually getting something out of it. The first 3 to 5 years of my instruction was make kids look better, make kids look better, make kids look better, make me look better. And then this premonition came to where get them better, and then they want to come to me more. And it's not about me. At the same time, I came to the conclusion that it's not about me. It's about what can I really do to sacrifice my 42-year-old manhood to give these kids what they really need? What can I give them that I never got? Because growing up, we never had hitting instruction, ever. Most of us growing up, we picked up a bat. It was probably a little bit too big for us, but that was a team bat because it was one 34, 31-ounce bat, Black Magic, that everybody had to swing, and you just grabbed the bat and you swung it. There wasn't any coaches going, hey, you're doing this, hey, you're doing that, hey, you need to analyze your video and this, hey, you need to do that. There wasn't any of that. You just hit. And I'm thinking, why am I so analytical with these guys? Why am I so mechanical with these guys? And why don't I just teach them how to hit? And teaching them how to hit, quite honestly, is kind of, I hope it's the next step in the culture of baseball right now. It's mechanic driven, and then it's drill driven right now, and analytical driven, which is cool. All the technology is awesome, but we need to get to the point, just like I did 7-8 years ago, of player-based driven and individually fixing them specifically, helping them. And once you give them what you need, that's the key. And that's the key where the society isn't at right now. It's all about the drills, it's all about the mechanics, it's all about the data, which is all great, it's all important, it's all equally important. But until we get to the point where we give hitters what they need individually, we're totally missing the bar. We're totally missing out on it. And we're truly, truly, truly ripping kids off if you're out there teaching, hitting, and getting paid to do it too. And you're totally ripping kids off if you're giving them false information. I have to basically go through the things that I did 15, 20 years ago and do the same things now, rework things. I have to undo things that are taught. I had to undo a kid the other day because he was taught something mechanically that was totally messing him up mentally. It totally just ruined his mental approach, and he couldn't hit. He was so mental about it that he couldn't even perform because he was so consumed about doing it this coach's way versus doing it your way, making minor adjustments, and really fixing your individual weaknesses. And I think the purpose of this video is to help coaches understand that until you really dive into that specific player's individual needs, you're not really helping them. And those needs are different, each player. Some kids need encouragement. Some kids need to be challenged more. Some kids need to get off the tee and hit more live BP. Some kids need to get on the tee and fix their swing. Some kids need to be patted on the back. Some kids need to be pushed, like, let's go. Some kids need to be told, let's get this done. Some kids need to say, hey, let's not do that. Every kid is different. When I'm talking about kids, I'm talking from little league all the way through pro level. Those are kids to me too. Every player, every hitter needs something different. And sometimes the best thing you can do is less. I've learned this over the years too. I think there's too much these days. It's do it this way, do it that way, swing this way, do it that way, do this, do that. Sometimes less is more, because you guys that are old school like me, old being 40 plus, you know that you just did it. And if you didn't do it, the next guy was going to do it, and you just did it your way. I think too many times these days, kids are trying to do it somebody else's way versus doing it their way. And don't get me wrong, there's certain things that have to happen. I mean, the swing is what it is. I tell people all the time, the swing mechanics aren't rocket science. It's not. We try to make the swing so more confusing than it really needs to be. There's so many. I watch Twitter all the time, and I'm like, I don't even know what this dude's talking about. There's so many big words trying to sound more intelligent than we really are. We're really baseball players. We're not that smart. Let's make it simpler. Let's make it more easy to understand, because these big words don't make you look any better. They don't make you look smarter. And truly, you're really not helping hitters. You're really just confusing them more. So I'm not saying to not get the information. I think I use probably big words too, but I'm not that smart. You guys know that already. But to simplify it a little bit more and to really dive into the players' needs is where we need to be as a community, as a society, when it comes to hitting instruction. And I think when we do that, there's going to be more success in the hitting side of things. And not that this really matters, it makes you look better. I can go to a facility and go, oh, that's a great tee drill. Oh, that's a great drill over there. Oh, it's very organized. They're all hitting, but nobody's getting better. They're just wasting their time going through the motions, doing stuff that I used to do 15, 20 years ago. So take it for what it's worth. I'm not saying not to do mechanics. I'm not saying not to do drills. I do them every day. But let's be aware of what the main goal is. The main goal is to fix hitters individually. And that right there is where we're completely missing out on. So if you need help with that, communicate with me. Message me on Twitter, email me, troypsilva@gmail.com. I'd be willing to help. If you want me to come speak to your academy, your school, whatever, I'd love to do that too. I'm here for you, and I do this video because I care, and I have a heart to really help kids, and I see a lot of kids every day. I do 7, 8 lessons every day, and I see kids day after day after day being hindered by what they're being taught. And it's a shame. It truly hurts me. It hurts my heart. It breaks my heart to see a kid that has this potential, but because of what they're being taught, truly being broken down, truly not being confident in what they're doing, and truly not maximizing their full potential. So hit me up on that. I hope this video helps. It helps me kind of remind me of kind of what we need to do as a culture, and reach out to me, because I'm here for you. God bless.